There's a strange emptiness that can arrive in a life that was once full of color. You go through the motions. The hobbies that once fascinated you now feel like chores. The music that used to give you chills now just passes through you. Even time with close friends can feel like you're watching a play from the back row, disconnected from the warmth on stage. This flatness, this graying out of the world, is terrifying. Your first thought is that something inside you is broken. You scroll through memories of past enthusiasm like photographs of a stranger, wondering where that person went. The world hasn't necessarily gotten worse, but your ability to connect with its brightness has dimmed. As if a vital inner circuit has quietly shut down. You might diagnose yourself as depressed, or believe you've simply become cynical and worn down by life. You ask, with genuine fear, what's wrong with me? Why can't I feel anything anymore? You watch others laugh at small things, get excited about plans, and you feel like an anthropologist observing a foreign tribe. You understand the actions, but the inner spark that drives them feels like a myth. This self-doubt becomes its own prison. You worry you've drained the cup of life too quickly, that you've experienced all you're meant to, and now only the dregs remain. But what if this feeling isn't a malfunction? What if it's a sign that a deeper part of you is waking up? What if the very disappearance of your old joys is making space for something you've never truly allowed yourself to experience? This isn't about becoming a different person, but about the person you've always been finally shedding a skin that has grown too tight. Let me explain. Most of what we call happiness in everyday life is actually a form of relief. It's the satisfaction of a desire, the quieting of a mental or physical itch. You're bored, so you seek entertainment. You feel insignificant, so you chase achievement. The pleasure you feel depends entirely on the prior discomfort. Without the sense of lack, the reward loses its power. Think of the comfort of your bed. It feels profoundly pleasurable only after a day of exhausting labor. The comfort is real, but it's defined by the contrast with the fatigue. We spend our lives engineering these contrasts, mistaking the cessation of a self-created noise for genuine peace. This is the endless cycle, wanting and getting, itching and scratching. We've built our entire idea of a good life on this unstable foundation of not enough. Our culture celebrates this chase, calling it ambition, passion, or living life to the fullest. We are taught to seek the next peak, the next milestone, the next thrilling experience, convinced that the feeling we crave is waiting just over that next ridge, but the horizon always recedes. The achievement lands with a quiet thud rather than a fanfare. The purchased object loses its shine in days. We are left running on a treadmill, believing we are traveling a path because the movement feels familiar, even when we are going nowhere. What if this flatness is not an end, but a beginning? So, what's happening to you now? Your seeing has shifted. Perhaps not in your conscious mind, but somewhere deeper. In your bones, you've begun to see through this game. You've realized that the prize you've been running toward is just a temporary pause in the noise. And once that realization dawns, the old machinery of seeking and finding grinds to a halt. The thrill is gone because you've glimpsed the mechanism behind the curtain. You can't unsee it. It's like noticing the strings on a puppet. The show can continue, but you can no longer believe in the magic the way you once did. This isn't cynicism, it's clarity. Cynicism is a defense, a bitter withdrawal. What you are experiencing is a quiet, non-judgmental recognition of how things have always worked. The engine of desire is still there, but it's idling. It no longer roars and compels you forward. This silence, where the internal sales pitch has stopped, is what you are interpreting as emptiness. You're in a transitional space. The old distractions have lost their magic, but your eyes haven't adjusted to what comes next. It feels like a barren wasteland. This is the crucial, difficult middle ground. You have left the familiar territory of seeking, but have not yet arrived at the unknown continent of simply being. In this space, every instinct screams to go back, to find a way to reignite the old passions. You might try to force it, buy the thing, take the trip, plunge into a new drama, hoping to jumpstart the old feelings. But it's like trying to make yourself believe in a fairy tale you've already analyzed. The wonder is gone. This period of adjustment can feel terribly long, because it operates on a timeline deeper than your daily wants. It's the psyche rewiring itself. Let me offer you a new analogy. Imagine your entire life you viewed the world through a complex colored lens. This lens fractured light into dazzling patterns, dramatic highs and lows, passionate joys and sorrows. You believed those patterns were reality. Your entire emotional life was a reaction to these captivating, self-generated projections. Then, without warning, the lens clears. Perhaps through a series of disappointments, or simply through the wear of time and attention, the filter dissolves. Suddenly, the dazzling, distracting patterns vanish. Everything seems simple, plain, almost bland. You mourn the loss of the spectacular show, but you're not seeing less. You're seeing what was actually there all along, without the filter. The raw, unfiltered reality lacks the compelling narrative you were addicted to. A tree is just a tree. A conversation is just an exchange. A meal is just nourishment. This can feel like a profound loss, a flattening, but the tree's true texture, the subtle nuance in the conversation, the simple taste of the food, these were always there, obscured by the drama your lens was creating. You are now perceiving the substrate, not the decoration. Your current state is that moment of adjustment. The vivid drama has faded, and you haven't yet learned to appreciate the profound clarity now available. The instinct is to run back, to find a stronger filter, a more intense experience, to jumpstart the old feelings. But this only leads to a deeper numbness. It's the path of the addict, requiring ever larger doses for ever diminishing returns. The alternative is to stand still in this new, plain light and let your senses recalibrate. This isn't a passive waiting, but an active, gentle attention to what is, without commentary. What's required is the opposite of seeking. It's to stop running, to be present with this very sense of emptiness without demanding it change. And here's the paradoxical discovery. When you stop trying to manufacture happiness, you might touch something that was there beneath the noise all along. This is not a flash of light or a burst of emotion. It is more subtle, like the hum of a refrigerator you only notice when it turns off. It's the background presence of your own awareness, which was previously drowned out by the constant pursuit of foreground experiences. It's not excitement. It's more like a fundamental alrightness, a sense that this moment, this breath, is complete in itself. It doesn't need a better past or a more promising future to validate it. The old joy was like adding sugar to water to make it interesting. This is realizing the water itself is pure and was always enough. This alrightness is not a feeling you have, but a context in which all feelings arise and pass. Sadness can come, and it happens within this alrightness. Frustration can come, and it too occurs within this space. It doesn't eliminate the human experience of pain. It simply provides a stable ground that isn't shattered by it. You are the sky, not the weather. I knew someone who lived at a frenetic pace, chasing novelty across the globe. He thought this was what it meant to be truly alive. His identity was built on being a seeker, a collector of experiences. Then, the engine of his seeking stalled. Everything felt dull. The temples of Angkor, the bustling markets of Marrakesh, they all left him cold. He saw it as a personal failure, a drying up of his spirit, the dreaded burnout he had always feared. But after sitting with this stillness for a long while, he told me something shifted. He was just watering his plants, feeling the sun, and a simple, wordless contentment settled over him. It wasn't thrilling. It didn't make for a good story, but it was real. He realized all his prior chasing was a flight from this exact, simple presence. He was running from the ordinary, terrified that if he stopped, he would find nothing of value. He wasn't worn out. He had finally come home. The traveler had exhausted the outer world only to discover the vast, unexplored territory within his own perception. You haven't lost joy. You've outgrown the container it came in. This is the invitation in your current state. Not to resurrect the ghost of past pleasures, but to discover a quality of being that doesn't swing on the pendulum of like and dislike. Your old joys were finite, conditional. They depended on specific circumstances aligning. What is being pointed to is unconditional. It doesn't come and go. It's the capacity to be aware, to be conscious itself. It's subtler than a feeling and more constant. You can't grasp it by effort. In fact, striving is what keeps it hidden. It appears in the surrender, in the giving up of the demand for life to be different. It's not an attainment, but a recognition of what was never absent. Think of yourself not as broken, but as a caterpillar in its chrysalis. The old form is dissolving. It's a messy, formless process. The caterpillar is gone, but the butterfly hasn't yet taken shape. If the mush in the middle could think, it would believe everything is over. It would mourn its caterpillar life and have no reference point for wings. But this dissolution is necessary. You are in the messy, transformative middle. Society has no map for this phase. It celebrates the caterpillar and the butterfly, but has no language for the goo in between. That is why you feel lost. You are in the uncelebrated, essential process of metamorphosis. So what do? You do what is in front of you. You make the tea. You walk the dog. You work. But you do it without the hidden agenda that these actions should make you happy. You engage with life directly, not as a means to a more pleasurable end. You wash the dish to wash the dish. You listen to the friend to listen, not to craft a witty response. This is the practice of bringing your full attention to the activity itself, however mundane. In this attention, a quiet intimacy with life begins to grow. You start to notice the warmth of the cup, the rhythm of your breath, the play of light on the floor. These are not dramatic joys, but they are points of contact with reality, and they carry a different kind of substance. And most importantly, you stop comparing. Stop comparing this stillness to your memory of fireworks. Memory is a trickster. It polishes the past and dims its pains. The fireworks you remember were likely fleeting moments surrounded by ordinary time, just as now is ordinary time. Stop comparing your inner landscape to others' curated highlights. You are seeing their filtered lens, their captivating shadow play, while yours has cleared. You cannot compare the clarity of day with the drama of candlelight. This comparison is the final thread keeping you tethered to the old game. When you release it, you fully inhabit your life as it is, not as you think it should be. This is the ultimate act of honesty. Perhaps the reason familiar joys don't reach you anymore is that you've grown too vast for them. A child's toy cannot entertain an adult, not because the adult is superior, but because their consciousness has expanded. You are being called to find nourishment from a deeper source, existence itself. The bare fact of awareness, of being here. The child needs the toy to focus its awareness. You are learning to let awareness rest in itself without an object. This seems like nothing compared to the roller coaster, but it is the very ground the roller coaster was built upon. It's what remains when all the rides stop. It's not nothing. It's the everything you overlooked while seeking special experiences. It is the canvas, not the painting. And while the paintings were beautiful, the canvas is where all potential resides. So if you're in this space where nothing sparks joy, don't see it as a curse. See it as a silent, powerful invitation. An invitation to stop seeking and to start seeing what has always been here. The doorway isn't ahead of you. The realization is that you've been standing in the room all along. All the seeking was a long, complicated journey to discover you never left home. This flatness you feel is the settling of the dust from that frantic journey. Now, in the quiet, you can begin to truly inhabit the space. This will also require a new relationship with the world. You may engage in the same activities, art, nature, friendship, but from a different place. You won't go to the forest to get peace. You will bring your inherent peacefulness to the forest, and the encounter will be different. You won't read a book to escape yourself, but to meet yourself in the words of another. The action may look the same from the outside, but the inner orientation has fundamentally shifted from consumption to communion. Be patient with this process. It unfolds in layers, not in a straight line. There will be days where the old pulls feel strong and days of profound quiet. Neither is a mistake. This is not about reaching a permanent plateau of serene alrightness, but about deepening your familiarity with it, so that even when the storms of life rage, you never completely lose touch with the stable ground beneath you. You are learning to differentiate the content of your life from the context of your being. If this perspective resonated with you, it would mean the world if you'd give the video a like. It helps this channel, Philosophy for Life, reach others who might be wandering in that same silent, transformative middle ground, wondering if they are alone. Thank you for watching.